Send your wives to Target. Put your kids outside.
It's grind time. Special guest today, Dalton Strode.
How's it going?
Collegiate baseball player here. We're going to get into a little bit more of that, but we're going to get started with just a nice intro. It's June. Baseball's going on. You're coaching two different teams, right?
Yeah.
You kind of help us. And
Yeah.
You're helping Miles.
A little bit.
You know, you're doing what? Three?
I've got three.
Three teams, and
So.
of course I got T-ball and 12U. So actually tomorrow night I have a challenge. You know, I got a 12U game, and then from right after that I go to Pee Wee. So I got to dial it down really quick. I'll make sure I'm not yelling at my Pee Wee
actually.
What's that?
I think I'm behind the plate for that game tomorrow.
Oh, you would?
Actually, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to see how you turn it from like 12U to Pee Wee.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no!
Like,
Get to the fence!
right? Do you think it's easier to go from Pee Wee to 12U or 12U to Pee Wee?
12U to Pee Wee.
Think
Really?
so?
You think so?
Why? Because you're gonna want to you want to attack the bigger games with more energy.
Okay.
Pee Wee game just drain you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like kids just running around chasing kids,
Yeah.
trying to get them to do something.
I can see that.
You
That
know,
makes
you're like,
sense.
how many things to be over with?
It's like,
Well, it's 12U. If you get a good game, you're into it.
Yeah.
You know, you're having fun. So,
Right.
but you've been to a couple of ours, and some of them aren't all that great. You know, like
baseball.
last
It
week
happens.
was rough. It was. I mean, I'm not even sure if this was an 11U team. You know,
Really?
they were super young, super inexperienced, and but that gave me a chance to give kids that needed to pitch a chance to pitch. Give some kids some experience out and play in different positions they're not going to play.
See, I like that theory too because you also umped one of my games just a couple of nights ago, and it was more of a blowout. It really was never really competitive, and we had the same pitcher the whole game.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of throwing in different
Right.
pitchers, especially in a game like that.
I rarely pitch a kid more than 2 innings at 12U.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, I have enough kids that want to pitch. I play 2 games a week, so
Right.
try to give everybody a chance. And if we're not building them up now, then they go into 8th grade. They're going to freshman year trying to learn how to pitch and never had any work at it.
Right.
And that, to me, that just doesn't sound correct. You
Right.
know? Like,
You don't want
I'm
somebody.
not saying I'm an expert at teaching anybody anything, but at least they've had something.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to teach kids at this age how to do the little things right.
Right, yeah.
Because then they'll have good habits and all that when they're getting older. Once they're older and they have those habits already, it's kind of hard to break them from it.
Exactly, yeah. Well, let's move it on into unsolicited advice. We kind of already hit on this one a little bit, but
Yeah.
practice makes perfect.
Absolutely.
You know, and this is anything really. Work, you know, golfing. I went golfing this morning, and I didn't do the same thing ever. I was trying to drive. I couldn't. My driver was hitting the ground. I'm like, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, I've never done this before, you know. And then I tried to change my stance, and yeah. So you just got to do the reps, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to find what works too.
Right.
Like, especially in games like baseball and games like golf, like everybody's swing is different. Everybody throws different. Everybody has a certain pitch that works for them or something, and you just got to find what works for you. You don't have to. I mean, I study a lot of hitting. There's a lot of hitting instructors out there that all teach different things.
Yeah.
I found what works for me, and I found what is the most consistent between all those hitting instructors, and that's what I try and preach because it's the most repeatable. It's the easiest to like explain, and the results are the most consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So big person we watched, probably you growing up, was Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
You still watch any of that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Good stuff's still out there.
Like, I mean, probably arguably the best hitter ever.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's like. He's so good at just simplifying.
right.
Like that's what I tell all my 14U kids because they're getting to the age now where, like, I mean, baseball's all mental. Like it is
100%,
all mental, and they're getting to the age now where it's like, you go up there, you want to make hitting as simple as possible.
Right.
I mean, that ball is moving at you, and you're hitting it with a stick that's not much bigger. It's harder as it is already.
Right.
The
Right.
more you think about it, the harder it's going to get. Like, you
Yeah,
have to
fair.
be as simple as you possibly can. And I think Tony Gwynn really represents that really
Oh, yeah.
well with his fundamentals and mechanics.
Well, and I think it makes sense because, you know, especially since we're talking sports, like you said, the little things doing them well. You get up there and you're facing a new pitcher you've never seen before, different game situations. The last thing you need to be thinking about is your batting stance. That should be second nature.
Right.
This is how I swing the bat. I'm not focusing on any of that. I'm
Right.
paying attention to everything else.
Right.
So, but I mean, it goes beyond sports, like you said, you know. And they said there's this thing I picked up a while ago. And it was something about a 10,000 hour rule. So, like, you are not past being a beginner at anything until you put 10,000 hours into it.
Holy cow.
And if you do the math, if you put 40 hours a week into this, let's say a job, right? Like I got a brand new career I started last year. If you do 40 hours a week, that 10,000 is going to take you just under 5 years.
because you're just over. I mean,
Right.
2,080 or something is a full year, and you got a couple vacations and stuff in there. So yeah, that's.
And when you think about something like sports or weightlifting, going to the gym, a hobby, golf, something like that, you're less than 40 hours. You're not spending 40 hours a week on this.
No,
You know.
No.
So.
Did you in college?
Baseball?
Yeah. Like full season.
Full, like 40 hours a week?
Yeah.
You think? I don't know. Because, I mean, during the season, probably pretty close. Because, I mean, you think about it, we don't get Saturdays and Sundays off. We have doubleheaders on Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we have weekday games. Like, we played 60 games in 2.5 months.
Wow.
Like, yeah. And the days that we didn't have games, we were out for 3 hours taking BP. Like, it wasn't anything, it wasn't like a hard practice. It was just more of a get your body moving, stay in the flow of things. But, I mean, still, we're out there for 3 hours, and then other guys, we go lift and hit more afterwards. So, I mean, we're out there.
Yeah.
We're out there for a while. So, like, so we have a dirt field. And so we had to put the tarp, we had a tarp.
Gotcha.
And so if it rained the night before, we put the tarp on, and we play at noon on Saturday. We were out there at 8:30, take the tarp off.
Right.
We stay there the rest of the morning, hit, stretch, we all have our own pregame rituals. Like baseball players are superstitious and follow a strict routine.
Right.
We all did that. By the time we played a game, we'd been there for 4 hours. Like,
so you're already tired.
And then we have 2 games.
Yeah.
Both probably 7 innings, 2 hours ish. So that's another 4 hours. Field work after the game, change. I mean, by that time, it's
you're putting
12
10,
hours
12 hours in.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't realize it was that much. You know, because I guess my thought was I didn't realize a college athlete you started to do that, but you did go JUCO, so you went on a big school. But you would have thought they'd have somebody doing the ground for you guys. Like, that's kind of wild.
We have people that do the field stuff, but the tarp, that was all us.
Really?
Wow.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Take all of you to move it?
Yes. Yeah. And after it rained, it had water on it. It was so heavy.
Yeah.
Such a pain, but
I got to do this because I want to play baseball, but
yeah.
I hate this right now.
Yeah. Or especially you get back from a doubleheader in Madison, which was a 3-hour drive for us, and he's like, all right, it's going to rain tomorrow. Like, we got to put the tarp on. So you get off the bus, you go put the tarp on. Yeah. I lost 15 pounds during the season because you don't have time to eat.
You're not eating, you're not bulking or nothing.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that.
So how does that work? You talked about golf, but let's say like your job. Do you do anything outside of work to better yourself at work? I mean, I do.
I mean, I follow TikToks, another guy that do sales, YouTubes. Always trying to grow. You know, like if you only do baseball, your job, or your hobby, or whatever, during your allotted time and never do it outside, you're never gonna get any better.
Right.
You know, and so you know, while I'm eating breakfast in the morning or going to the bathroom or something, I'm always on TikTok, scrolling through. This guy's got this kind of pitch. This guy's got this. Just always reading and listening, trying to see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I imagine you probably do a lot of that kind of little stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you do. Well, you got continuing education.
I
anyway,
have to. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but even outside of that, you know, 'cause, especially if it's something that I haven't seen in a while or some kind of new disease or things change.
Right.
Like we don't do the same thing in medicine that we did even 5 years ago. It's changed since I first came into it. So there's a lot of, I won't say practice, but stuff that goes into that too.
Well, they call it practice medicine for a reason.
Yeah,
right?
I practice every day. But yeah.
But no, I mean, if you're trying to be perfect at something and you're not putting out in extra work, then you're only failing yourself. You know, like, and that actually leads me into my next topic. Perfect reps have to be taken. Like, you can take good reps, have good practice, good anything, but if it's not being a smart, perfect rep, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
You gotta practice the right way.
Yeah, hitting off a tee. There's so many kids. I don't want to hit off a tee. I'm like, college athletes do this. MLB players do this. Like, why are you so above this?
Yeah.
Like, you think you're better than Mike Trout? Like, you know.
And one thing when it comes to like that, I always think quality over quantity.
100%.
Yeah.
Because like when I'm throwing to my 14U kids, or even like with me in the cage, if we took BP in the cage before the game, I'd go in. If my first 3 swings were right what I was trying, I'm out. Like, those are the swings I take, and I'm good for the game. And so that's why I tell
once you're dialed in, you're dialed in.
and that's why I tell my 14U kids, like, they're in there, they go in there, first couple swings are but then it's like boom, boom, boom. All right, get out. If he gets in there, his first 2 swings are boom, boom, get out of there. Like, the less you do is better, because you always hear like one more. I want one more. Oh, come on, give me
And
one
then
more.
so it messes-
Well, that one more turns into a rollover. Oh, one more. All right, now that's a pop up. Oh, one more. 5 one mores later, you took 7 crappy swings. When
Right.
you had 3 perfect swings to begin with.
And it's funny you mentioned that because so you came down, you threw BP to guys at Jacksonville and Brad Wallen, and you told me that, and I'm like, what is this reasoning? So I spent all weekend like Googling things, like very solid practice. Like I'm like, I dig this. Like
Yeah.
back in my day, that wasn't a thing. You did a whole bucket of balls to a pitching machine.
Right.
You know, like,
Well, it makes sense when you talk about the muscle memory. If you're not doing these reps, if you're not going through the motions the right way, you're just reinforcing those bad habits.
Right.
You know, and I think that goes with anything. I mean, for me, the big thing when you saw perfect reps, what came to mind, and it doesn't look like it now, but I used to be big into weightlifting.
Right.
And like then, especially, you got to go through the motion the right way
Yeah.
because if your range of motion or something is off, especially when you get into heavier weight,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
fuck your shoulder or something.
well,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's useless. Like
Yeah.
if you're trying to bench press, you're not working here. You know, you really got to focus on every rep counts.
Right.
And in that situation, you know, you golfing, you can go out and spend 2 hours swinging the club, and if you're completely fucking up all the time, is that as meaningful as a half an hour doing the right thing
Exactly.
and really
Yep.
focusing on it?
Yep.
So, like you said, quality over quantity.
Yeah, and like you hear all these kids nowadays. They think it's cool to go out and hit. Oh, I took 150 swings in an hour and a half yesterday. Okay, how many of those were good?
Right.
How many of those did you have? Because it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're hitting off a tee, hitting front toss, you're hitting machine BP, hitting in a game. Like you have to have an approach. You have
Right.
to know what you're working on. You're not just going up there to hit the ball.
Right.
Like when I'm hitting, we have BP rounds. So we do like 4 rounds of 5, 5 rounds of 4, whatever. It'd be like, okay, you got a runner on first. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get him over to second by hitting a ground ball to the right side. Okay, now you got a runner on second, less than 1 out. What are you gonna do? You get something in the air in the outfield, deep enough for him to tag. Now you got a runner on third. What are you gonna like? It's all situation.
Right.
Yeah.
It is all situational hitting. And so when you're taking 100 plus swings on a tee in a short amount of time, you're gonna get tired. I
Right.
mean, that's a given. And those, like you said, bad habits come into play because now they're like, okay, I'm kind of struggling here, but it's just because they're tired. So now they're getting real loopy with their swing, getting real long with it.
Right.
So yeah, like that night when we got back from Jacksonville, me and Reed went and hit that night
Yeah.
because he was kind of struggling, and I had a game
Right.
the next day.
Yeah.
So we went and hit, and he took like 6 swings. I tweaked one thing, took like 4 more. They were good. I was like, "You're done. Like,
Yeah.
call it. You
Yeah.
played enough baseball this weekend. You took 4 solid swings.
Yeah.
Forget it."
Yeah. And he turned around. We played Monday night, and he had a great game the next night.
Yeah.
So, and I was like,
It's crazy.
Dalton works with him.
Crazy how
I
that
was
stuff
like,
works.
yeah.
It's crazy
No,
how that stuff
and,
works.
You know, I took a couple kids out myself, and you can tell which ones because that's the whole thing of going to a tournament like this. Yeah, you want to win games,
Right.
obviously, but look at how other people are doing things. Look at how the better athletes, better kids are doing things. I've learned from it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and immediately I had 3 parents text me, "Hey, so was almost like wow." So I took a couple kids. Monday night, you could tell which kids learned and worked, and you could tell which kids were
Right.
there just. Oh, I got to play on the third field, you know,
Mhm.
and that's cool for some kids, you know. Not every kid's gonna have the same work ethic,
Right.
so
Well, and I think another thing you learn, and especially when we're talking about sports or the gym or anything that's really physical, is those rest periods matter.
Yeah.
So if you're
Right.
out there and
Yeah.
you're throwing 150 swings, if you're throwing 100 pitches 3 nights a week, like where's your rest period there?
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
and how much was that an adjustment for you? And I don't want to skip ahead or anything, but was that an adjustment for you going to college? Is realizing how to rest and recover?
Yeah, so I didn't pitch in college, but our pitching coach had specific like throwing plans for all of our pitchers, and in the plan it said it was like a 15 pitch bullpen. All right, 10-minute rest.
Yeah.
They would
Wait,
set
what?
a timer for 10 minutes. Yeah,
Huh.
they would throw a 10 pitch bullpen, 10-15 pitch bullpen. All right, 10-minute rest. Okay, now you're gonna throw a football for 15 yards for 7 throws. All right, now you're gonna rest for 5 minutes. All right, now you're gonna throw 10 more pitches. Like that stuff,
Wow.
it's boom, boom, boom. It's all schedule based.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
And I
That
mean,
stuff I wouldn't even think about.
right.
I mean, I didn't play college baseball, so I'd never seen any of that. And if I did, it was 12 years ago. So, like, so much has changed from when I would have been in college to now.
Oh yeah,
So,
the technology is like
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's insane. But and yeah, like even our workouts, like we would do these things called sweat sessions in the off season, 2 times a week, and it was like sledgehammers on the tires, like sled pushes,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just constant, like 45 minutes of just straight cardio, but then it'd be yoga afterwards. To
Oh,
just
cool.
let the body
Yeah.
reset, like stretch, and it does wonders. Like rest, people need rest.
Right.
Like I don't think that's looked over a lot nowadays. But
So-
rest is huge.
How many hours of sleep were you trying to get a night? Like,
At least
today?
8.
At least 8.
At least
Yeah.
8.
Well,
Yeah, it was hard, but yeah, at least 8.
right.
and even small things like, you know, I noticed when I was in the gym, I read one time that you should take like 2-3 minutes at least between sets, right?
Right.
And everybody does it. Like you rep out a set and you sit there and, you know, you Google something and you're like, 30 seconds, I'm back into it.
Right.
But you don't get the full effort. You know, things
Right.
get sloppy. You're not lifting as much weight, and you probably can't do as many reps if you don't take that rest
Yeah.
period. So I
Like,
think
that
it
amazes
matters.
me because, you know, you see these people that go in there and they do this like 15 set workout
Yeah.
Yeah.
in 40 minutes. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way you should have done it that way.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously, you've probably learned by now, but sports stuff leads to life lessons. Every
Sure.
time.
That's why I love
all the
sports.
time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I love baseball, because baseball is a game of failure.
Oh,
Like
yes.
it teaches you how to fail and how to just forget about
Right.
you're gonna fail in everything.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna be perfect. It's all about how you overcome and how you what you
Right.
do your next at bat.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in life, it'd be like what you do the next day, I guess. But
Well, and that's the thing about it. Like, doing something, batting 30% in baseball is freaking phenomenal.
It's-
That's
yeah,
what
If you're a 300 hitter, you're good.
you're like not good. You are great.
Yeah, you know, but
You're
if I do
stud.
something 30% of my work, I'm
Right.
fired.
Yeah, right, right.
Like, now, if you do something like that, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that's,
Yeah.
but
I caught
that's the joy
30%
of it.
of shit.
You know. Yeah. Why are we paying this guy again? You know? But yeah, no, I like that a lot. I like the whole lesson thing on that. But so should we move into some sports and talk
Oh.
about these Cubbies?
Yeah, even though today was a little disappointing.
Oh my gosh.
You know
But
what,
it wasn't
though?
all us, you know.
I
hate
watched
to
the
be
last
that
two
guy.
games, and I hate being an umpire myself when people pick up with the
Right.
umpire. But he was so freaking inconsistent, and it went both ways. Like, he was down flag.
And his ego.
Yes.
The egos on umpires nowadays
Oh,
are
God.
horrible.
That's
He threw
what,
out. I mean, Nico didn't say shit. And
Nico
It's
had a
Nico-
short leash.
It's
Right.
Nico Horner. Like
Yeah.
he's one of the nicest guys in the league.
Right. Now, I can get. Council was out there for a little bit. He probably
Yeah.
got told, hey, go sit back down, and he didn't. I can get that one. But Nico, like, the dude said 4 words. But this isn't the first time you see all these players nowadays
Oh,
getting
yeah.
tossed for just one little thing.
For the littlest things
Yeah.
too. Like
No.
the littlest
It's-
things.
And that's what's crazy is Nico turned around and said something like, "You're having a bad day back there," and immediately ejected.
Gone.
Yeah.
Council came up there and argued for like 2 minutes, and then he still wasn't going to throw him until he walked and turned around.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
what the hell, dude?
And it was a bad call.
It
Like
was-
it
it
was
was.
not a strike.
No, yeah.
It was a horrible call.
Well, and even yesterday, so that pick off to end the game
Yeah.
that they had to review, after looking at the replay, it's like, how the hell did he miss this the first time?
Right.
And I know people are human, right?
Right.
But you're right there on the base, and it was pretty clear when they showed the one angle, like he's out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And
No,
that's
I
what,
guess
like MLB umpires, like it's a 4-man crew.
Yeah.
You should have an angle on everything at all times. Like I know we ump. You might have you ever
Not
done a little bit, but like you have to get. It's all about the angle you
Right,
get.
it is,
And with a 4-man
100%.
crew, you have an angle all
Yeah.
the time.
Yep.
And so it's like those calls like that you shouldn't miss.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember we were over in Canton, and your brother got tagged out at second.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go over and be like, dude, you had the terrible angle on that because Reed was safe.
Yeah.
When a kid slides feet first and gets tagged in the chest,
Yeah.
that's a good indication that they're safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, but, it didn't matter, in that game. So I wasn't really want to get too, but I was like, hey, like, next time, take 2 steps to your left and you'll have a way better view of
Yeah.
that. But he's a kid, But MLB, pro sports, those guys are supposed to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
I hate being the fan that always wants to be like, well, the refs fucked us, the umps fucked
Right.
us.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
take your losses, it's cool. But man, this series was ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was.
And then-
Especially, being a series against arguably the 2 best teams in baseball right now.
Yeah.
You want better.
That's what I was just gonna say.
You know.
Like it was a big series.
Yeah. That
Big
literally the top 2 teams in baseball, and I heard over the broadcast 4 different times over 2 games. This was a pretty inexperienced crew, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, send this down to Tampa Bay and Miami or something. I don't give a shit, but like,
Yeah.
put the better guys here.
Do
you know?
you-
I get people need to learn, but this isn't the game to do that on.
The Cubs are playing 13 days in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, their last day off was last Monday, and they don't get a day off until next Monday.
Monday.
And most of those are away games.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then our counsel had an interview, and he was talking about he got to get PCA some rest. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no shit.
He's-
He's played
yeah.
every defensive inning.
Right.
Yep.
So there's 4 guys in the MLB that have played it. PCA's one of them, the other 3 come from the Braves.
Yep.
It's like,
And
wow.
I don't know when that rest is coming. So
Yeah.
Washington would have been good. Obviously not against the Tigers. Tomorrow we go to Philadelphia, and then we play 4 games against the Pirates, which for some reason always seem to only play well when they play the NL Central.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, ain't no shit. Yeah. And let's get on Paul Skeens a little bit. I feel bad for this guy.
Oh man,
Pitches
Dude.
his heart out every game, and he went 8 1/3 the other game and lost.
Yeah, about 1 run.
Yeah,
Like,
are you serious?
Like,
Feel
dude, you guys
so
gotta
bad
help this
for
guy
him.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I seen a meme come on Facebook that said, you know, usually you're not upset with somebody, or you don't sympathize with somebody that has a model of a girlfriend and making, $500 million,
Right.
but it's like Pittsburgh making that.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like,
Well,
he's
And you hate to see that in any sports.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the argument with J.J. Watt.
right.
You know, some big athletes that wasted their time on it. Andre Johnson,
Yeah.
you know, when we were younger,
Yeah.
like wasting your time on a bad team.
Yeah.
You know, you hate to see that because this guy, arguably one of the best pitchers in baseball, for nothing.
Right.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely nothing.
So,
Can you imagine him in the playoffs?
Yeah.
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He'll end up on the fucking Dodgers or something.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because they sign
Yeah.
everybody
Right, yeah,
else.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Like,
So
Oh, yeah.
here's my thing on the MVP thing, and I want to hear your take on it because you're a younger kid and everything. But Ohtani being a DH, should he be an MVP?
I don't think so, because as a position player, like
Right.
having to go from a bat at bat, and then all of a sudden you have to a fly ball is going over my head, like now I got to make a play.
Right.
That is hard. When you're
Yeah.
a DH, like no offense to DHs, one of my best friends was our DH, but you strike out, okay, now you got 8 batters to forget about it.
Right.
Right.
You're just sitting in the
So
dugout.
which could be an inning, 2, 3
yeah.
innings sometimes.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean,
yeah.
but especially if you make like the last out
Yeah.
of the inning, it's like fuck. Like
Yeah.
now I gotta reset, forget about it. I gotta go play defense. I gotta make a play. Like I
Right.
can't hurt us now
Yeah,
on the other
yeah.
side of the ball.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I see everybody has Ohtani at the top of the MVP board, and I'm like, I don't feel like that's correct. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm not saying Ohtani's a great hitter. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
not trying to take anything from him. I'm not trying to take anything from the DH spot. But that should be something that should have to be done. Like, you have to do both.
Yeah.
You know.
did you see the argument? So the other day we posted a video on our TikTok and Facebook and everywhere about the argument for PCA being MVP,
Yeah.
which right now I think is a reasonable argument.
Yeah.
And somebody got on there and they were like, well, last year he batted such and such. And I was like, who
Yeah.
fucking cares?
It's
Like,
like-
we're talking
yeah,
about this
who
year.
cares?
Yeah. That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard is like, last year he did this. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, so there's, people don't usually go back to back at MVP. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's expensive. Right?
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
have up and down years. So,
Right.
but yeah, last year's stats and what you did last year doesn't affect this year.
Why does that matter at all?
Yeah.
It's not a Hall of
No,
Fame ballot. It's for this season.
And I think, I mean, obviously being Cubs fans, I think we're all excited that the Cubs weren't supposed to be this good this year.
No.
Like, none of us were like, oh yeah,
No.
we're going to compete.
Yeah.
And here we are with one of the best records in the National League, you know?
I saw something though. They said that in the first inning of maybe yesterday's game, when you looked at the 9 people we had on the field, every one of them was a former first-round pick,
No
and
shit.
they said that was the first time
Really?
that ever happened in the MLB.
Really?
Like Counsell is a good manager.
Oh,
He
is.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Even though like last year was rough and we like you said we didn't expect to be good this year, but like it's all a process.
But
And baseball's all you play 162 games. It's not like football where you're playing 15 and it's
Right.
like okay, like you got 162 games to come up with something.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And it's such a long season.
Yeah.
Like even we were just talking last week. Even last week, there's still 100 games to play.
Yeah.
Like anything can happen.
Right.
You know.
And that's the thing. You kind of wait for like All-Star break to hit, and that's when you start. Okay, now we're getting into the real talks of what playoffs are looking like and all this stuff. You know, unless you're Colorado, you're probably
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I hate that for them. I really do.
Yeah.
But going back to the PCA, I'm glad to see that we finally won a trade.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
imagine
sorry.
being the Mets right now.
you know, Baez,
Yeah.
Baez isn't even in New York anymore.
Uh-uh.
So,
I
but he's playing decent.
I'm,
He's having a
I was just
rebound
gonna
here.
say I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad he's coming around
Yeah.
again. Because he's one of my favorite players.
Is he?
Yes. I was
uh,
in 2016. I was a huge Javi Baez
yeah,
fan.
well, I mean, 2016 was hard to beat that.
Yeah,
That was a great team
that was-
overall. So.
Well, and I think that's the hard thing when you talk about a process and building a team. That's what makes that World Series, afterwards so fucking heartbreaking is 2016. We finally built something. We had this core of players, and nothing came after.
Yeah,
it.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
nothing
just like
came after it.
You know,
it
you
should have
had-
been years,
Yeah.
of a good team, and it just
Yeah,
fell
we had
apart.
Bryant, Rizzo, Baez. I mean, that should have been a good core.
Ever since Addison Russell got in
Oh, I
trouble with
know,
all
yeah.
that
Yeah.
was the decline.
And that was one of my favorites. I loved him at
I
shortstop.
loved Addison
Yeah.
Russell.
Like, he had so much range. His
Yeah.
arm was crazy good. But, I mean,
Right.
then you have these young kids that
Yeah.
get to a spot, then they apparently can't handle anything and mess
Right.
up,
I saw something. It was like, we all know how good Javi Baez was defensively,
Right.
and Addison Russell made him play second base.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's how good he was.
Right,
He
yeah.
made Javi Baez play second base.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Cub player right now?
Right now, PCA.
PCA.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
pick him.
fair.
Yeah.
I just love the way I love the swag he has.
Oh, I know.
Mhm.
Like,
I love the confidence he carries, like the way he just goes about the game.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, plays it like a kid.
Yeah.
It's
Plays it
fun
to
out
have
there.
fun. You
Yeah.
know, like. So,
He's always getting the crowd involved.
Yes.
Which I love.
so how old are you now? 20?
Yeah. 20.
So who's your favorite all-time Cub then?
I don't know. That 2016 team.
Yeah,
I loved everybody on that team.
Oh, I mean, it was fun.
was-
It was fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That's cool to see what somebody else a few years younger than us would say. So
Right.
But going back to PCA, you've when I play, you've seen
Yeah.
when I play softball. I always tell my mom I would hate to play against me in anything because I'm an asshole.
oh, you are. You're
like
PCA.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
like,
it's
you are.
just
Yeah.
it's the confidence flowing.
Right.
I am better than you are. You are not gonna beat me.
Right.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to beat you. And I feel like that's what PCA does.
Right, he does.
Oh,
yeah.
That's why I love the
That
he
chip
plays
on the
with-
shoulder.
Yes,
Yep,
exactly,
Yep. No.
exactly. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no quit. He'll
No.
run a fly ball down, and there's never a doubt. Yes, he's fast, but he sees something. He's like, I'm gonna go get that.
I'm
And
catching.
he does.
Yeah.
My ball.
It's-
Yeah, it's in right field.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
I'm catching that.
Yeah. There's probably 3 or 4 I've seen that he had no business getting to,
Right.
and he made the.
There was one that had a 0%
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
chance or percentage, and
Yeah.
he caught it.
And that's what I like about the new StatCast thing
Yeah,
that teaches
Yeah.
the trajectory of the ball, it should have been catchable or
Right.
whatever, and he catches it. It's So that like you said, technology.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
All
insane.
the analytics.
Yeah.
It's
Now it is. It's crazy. Well, let's talk about the NBA Finals for a little bit. So obviously, Game 2 is going on right now.
Yep, Game 2's going on right now. Game 1, I'm not a big NBA fan. I think we've said that most episodes we've ever talked about
Yeah,
the
they're
NBA.
not.
But
it's trash for the most part.
Yeah.
But who wants to watch basketball in June anyway?
Yeah, it's baseball season.
Like, I think I watched it a couple times when Miami was in it. The year that Dirk did all the work, I watched that one. I've seen a couple with the Spurs, but now that I'm older, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then basketball's so bad anymore.
yeah, and right now, I was just looking, 5 minutes left in the first half, and Oklahoma's up 46-27. So that's kind of the way I think everybody expected
dumb.
this to
Yeah.
And this is why people don't want to watch it. You come in there and you win on a buzzer beater, now you're down by 20 in the next
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Well, and there's no rhyme or reason, but there was a time when I was really trying to get into gambling, especially on the NBA, because
Right.
people thought it was easy to do. And, there's no rhyme or reason. One game, somebody's going to come out and they're going to lose by literally 60 points, and the next night they're going to smoke a team by 60
Right.
points. And there's no consistency to it.
Well, the thing is now nobody plays all the minutes all the time.
The minute restrictions are,
And it's changing the game, and that's why I think basketball is going the way it is. You're putting all these restrictions on these guys to do anything. It's you try to go to a game and it's $500-$600 for a ticket.
Right.
If I pay that and the guy I went to watch doesn't play, give me my fucking money
Yeah,
back.
right. Yeah, imagine going to a Warriors game and Steph Curry has a minute restriction.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
it's just,
Yeah,
why
no.
am I here?
So, well, I picked the Pacers to win. We'll see what happens. So I'd like to see him sweep it just because I don't know Halliburton and the whole story with his dad getting tossed. It's kind of I don't know why it intrigues me, but it does. So
Well, and they could. I mean, the whole thing with the Pacers that I like, and I like it with any sports, is this whole playoff season they've been clutch. They've been down so many times.
Yeah.
They've come back. They found a way to win. Even game 1, they were down 9 points and came back and won it on the buzzer beater. This team doesn't give up.
And what was that stat?
Oh yeah,
Teams were 0 and 182 or something
yeah.
in that scenario. now they're 1-182.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Like it's like
Wow.
no teams come back and won it from that, and the Pacers did it.
Wow.
They have some insane stats
Yeah.
on coming back in the clutch. It's like, are you guys even trying? Like,
And there's
you
not.
guys just quit? Because, they're not going to do it, then they do it. Get on to the GTR where we're just going to do like interview with you
All right.
and just ask some questions about what it's like, what was your journey to baseball. So something we're both really passionate about is obviously sports. But we've been talking, well, ever since we really started the podcast, about interviewing a college athlete and just going through, Little League to junior high, high school, and on. So,
Right.
obviously, I've had a backseat to this. I remember umpiring a couple of your games when you played Good Hope. before you
Yeah.
got to the Bush
I
Run,
remember my mom talking about that.
And you were, what, 8?
Yeah, 8, 9.
And, your mom mentioned to me, like, I remember, because obviously Dalton was a hothead at that age. And
Shit, at
she
the
said,
time you
I
were
put my
home.
arm around him and I said, if you can keep your head clear, you're going to be a good athlete. Well, now look at him. He figured it out, Obviously, your record speaks for itself on what you guys were able to accomplish in high school. But tell us, I was always against travel ball.
Mm-hmm.
You and your dad and the way you guys talk kind of turned my head on that a little bit. But tell me what it made you decide to go from just playing with your friend to do a travel ball.
So, let's see. I played for Good Hope until I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
And then I was also playing bats, the Bushnell. It would be what the Junior Spartans is now. It was bats before.
Bats before, yep.
So I was also doing that, and then all my buddies went and played for the Collegiates.
Oh,
Well,
right, yep.
There was kind of a little, not really an argument, but kind of like a disagreement with it, and it kind of went south, but I didn't end up going to play for them. And so I went to this team in Peoria called the Christian Center.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And played 1 year there, and then because I actually played on the 14U team as a 13-year-old, and all my kids that I knew were on the 13U team.
Right.
And so then the next year, I made that team with all my buddies, and that was the year that just hooked me onto baseball.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I'd always loved the sport.
Yeah.
I'd always had a passion for it. I've always just been naturally blessed with the ability to play. But that season was the one that hooked me.
Right.
And it just, something about it just opened my eyes, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Because the year before, when I played on that 14U team, I was horrible. I was awful. And it's
Right.
because that was the year Fortnite came out. So that's all I did. That's all I did was play Fortnite.
Play Fortnite, yeah.
Well,
That's
I remember.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember. My
It's
mom.
like a Kyler Murray thing over here.
Yeah, literally. My mom and my dad were like, "That's the reason you're sucking, because your natural ability is only going to take you so far."
Right.
And so going into my 8th grade year, which was the year I got to play with all my buddies, I lifted, I actually took it serious just to see what would happen, and just a complete different player.
Right. Yeah.
Physically. Mentally, I was still a little rough. Like you said, I used to be a little bit of a hothead.
Right.
Just kind of get down on myself in real easy,
Yeah.
bad times. So then I played for the Christian Center from 8th grade till sophomore year, and then I played for the Illinois Steel, which was out of Peoria.
Okay.
And then I went to the Sunday morning league for my senior
Right,
year.
yep,
But
yep.
my high school season, didn't have a freshman year because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna play varsity that year, and so I'm amped up because it wasn't like it is now where they literally have 9 guys on the team.
Right.
I earned a varsity spot.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was amped up, I was hyped. Told my parents, next day, boom, season's canceled. And so it's okay. And I kind of was going through some sad times because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to play baseball that year at all.
Right.
Well, we ended up having a Christian Center year. That one went all right. We got to play a few games, not as many as a regular season would, but got to play a couple, and it was kind of one of those I think this is what I want to do, because sophomore year, something about it just burned me out of baseball. I didn't even play. I batted 340. I caught every inning of every game.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
I think so, because you're not you'll catch. You like
Right.
doing it, but you want to be everywhere.
Yeah. And
catch me a game, put me out here for a game.
yeah,
You know,
and the toll it took on my body.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
I mean, every inning, I didn't have a break.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so that kind of like burned me out just a little bit. Let's see. So then that summer happened. Well, I guess no. So sophomore year summer was the last year I played for the Christian Center.
Okay.
It was all right. I went through a really bad slump, and I didn't know how to fix it because I didn't know my body yet.
Right.
And that's like, well, I'll get into it more a little bit, but like maturing and knowing how to use your body helps so much.
Right.
And so I struggled a little bit. Ended the year on a good note. We actually had our last tournament in Bushnell. The Phil Mason put on a tournament here. We ended up winning that, so that was pretty fun. And so then I was done with them. Junior year came around for high school, and we were pretty good. I think we were like 18-9.
Yeah. Yep.
Blew it in the regional championship. I don't know if you were there. It was in Havana. We played Lewiston.
Okay.
And going into it, like, I always think of the worst case scenario in anything, in literally anything. And so I'm going into it like, yeah, we run with Lewiston later on, but I mean, it is baseball. Like, you don't know what can happen. And everybody else was kind of like, oh, like, let's go.
Right.
We got this in the bag. And
Yeah.
I'm going in, I kind of tell, myself included, like, we weren't really focused, and we lost. We ended up blowing it.
Yeah.
So that put a little bit of a chip on our shoulder for senior year, and
Yeah.
that worked out pretty well. But so then junior year, played for Illinois Steel. We were horrible. Not the most fun summer I've ever had, but it was a good experience. Got to see some pretty good competition. Still, I'm starting to get looks at this time. Like junior year, I'm starting to get a little interest from colleges. Senior year comes around. I commit to Joliet in November, so I commit before the season started.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I can breathe. Like that was a big thing. Like just get somewhere good. Like no shade towards like Spoon or Sandberg or anything, but I wanted to get out. Like I wanted to go somewhere where I could make my name big in a different area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like committed there. Since the time I committed to the time we played our last out, we were nationally ranked.
Wow.
For NJCAA.
Awesome.
And so that was like, I felt like accomplished.
Because
I mean, I worked my butt off for baseball. And then, so senior year comes around, and I mean, we were just kicking everybody's ass.
You were, yeah.
Like, we were beating teams that we shouldn't beat by 10, but we're beating them by 15. Like, we just gelled together so well. We knew who was going to be where, who was going to, like, throw at this time, and how he was going to throw based on his pregame bullpen. Like, we knew each other because we've been playing together forever. Set the school record. Lost that sectional game. Actually, when we were driving to Jacksonville for your tournament, we passed Illinois College's field because I wanted to go by and see it. Bluffs and Route were playing there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's...
Yeah, so I drove by, and it was kind of like one of those, like, shit. That, it sucks. But, so yeah, that senior year was one of the most fun baseball seasons I've ever had. I mean, it was...
I'm going to pause it for a second. So, the previous job I had, I was actually down in St. Louis the night you were playing your sectional that you lost. Or your super section, whatever it was. And one of the guys I was with had a grandson playing on the team.
The Bluffs team?
Yeah.
Really?
So I think it was, I probably have it wrong, but like the third baseman or something. So he had like a game changer. I'm like, oh, you and I are about to be best friends. I said, that's where I'm from. I know all these kids. And I just remember following it, wishing I was there. And I don't remember which one of you it was. Somebody went deep into a count and fouled off like 6 pitches in a row. And he's like, this is going to make or break the game right here. Like, if you guys make this hit, Bluff falls apart.
Yeah.
No, if you guys don't, then that was the game.
Right.
And it really was. It was the turning point.
Yeah.
And I think it was like the 3rd or 4th inning. I can't remember. But I just remember being like, this is such a small world. Like, I'm down in St. Louis, 3.5 hours away, and somebody else knows, like,
that is wild.
Yeah.
That is crazy to think about.
I was just like, holy shit, man.
Wow.
Like, this is wild. But,
and there's, like, looking back on it, there's so many what ifs.
Well, yeah, you're going to have that.
With that game. Because, like, so a lot of Bluffs and Route played the day before. And so we went and watched it, and they didn't have Vaughn because he had his pitch count.
Oh, okay.
And so Vaughn was like their guy. That was he committed to Bradley. He was a stud. They didn't have him. Well, Bluffs had their guy.
Oh, okay.
And so if we played Tuesday, because I think we played on a Wednesday. We either played on a Wednesday or Thursday. They played the day before. If it was flip-flopped, if we played the day before, Bluffs wouldn't have had their guy, and Illini Bluffs would have had Vaughn. That's a completely different outcome.
Oh, it is,
Right.
100%.
So, that changed, and then I have never been good at a relief out of the bullpen.
No.
I've always been a starter.
Always been a starter.
And I get put in a bases loaded, no out situation, and it's
I
just...
was talking to Dad about that. He's like, dumbest fucking coaching move
It's,
ever.
it's just... And it, they weren't even hitting the ball hard, but it was just bloop.
Yeah.
Bloop.
Yeah.
Bloop. And it's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I'm executing my pitches, but... And another thing kind of off topic, but mentally, on the mental side of things, if I know I'm pitching for a game, you might as well take my bat out of the lineup.
Right. You just want to focus on.
I was locked in on pitching. You're not gonna hit me.
Right.
I'm throwing everything past you, and I'm going to let you know, fuck you. I'm better than you. Hitting. If I knew I wasn't pitching that day, everything was okay. My approach is here. If he's throwing hard, if he's got ride or run on his fastball, what am I gonna do? And so I was not mentally prepared to pitch at all because I was supposed to start against Route the next day.
Right.
And so,
okay.
And so I'm let's go. Let's get there.
Yeah.
And so going into that, I was like, shit. This is a bad situation to be put in. So I wasn't.
But, I mean, at the same time, it's nice to know that your coach had faith in you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Who do I'm bringing in the best guy I got to get me out of this position,
Yeah. Right,
and it's you.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to feel great. Oh, shit.
And, me being, I want him to come to me.
Right.
But then again, it's I wasn't
You wish you
prepared.
knew.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
So that was that was brutal.
Yeah, no, and, going back to your senior year, I turned down a game to umpire in Bushel when he had to play Macomb, and I regret it.
That game was...
Because I would have loved, if Macomb versus Bushnell,
Yeah.
freaking conference championship, Duncan versus Strode, it was going to be great. It was going to be phenomenal, and I didn't want to be the guy behind the plate.
Makes sense.
And I was like, but after watching it, I should have taken the damn game.
Yeah.
The two that did it sucked.
Yeah.
They were trash.
Well, the news was there. I can't remember who it was.
Right.
Quincy News. And, I did my thing where I would lift my leg up and then go again to, mess him up. Well, there was no runners on base. He called a balk.
Yeah, yep.
With no runners on base. Could give a ball to him. It was a 0-2 count. So that was a 1-2 count. That's not a balk. I never stopped my delivery.
And his argument, it's deceiving to the batter.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I was so can't. And Oni goes, so we can't throw curveballs?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I was so. And at that time, Jason Duncan called me over to the Macomb side.
Oh, okay.
He's like, explain this to me. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. And I got so many people coming up to me like, what just happened? I'm like, I wish I knew what to say.
Those guys were
Can't
bad.
tell you.
You know,
They
and
were
then the
bad.
problem was Oni wasn't going to pull you.
No.
And then that guy took forever to make a decision on where he was going with
And
the
I
game.
got no warm up.
Yeah.
I couldn't throw in between that.
Yeah. So then he finally pulls you because,
Yeah.
you sat for, 10 minutes probably?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just quite a while, so.
That balk call was in the second inning.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Oh,
he kept me in for that one because I remember I ended up striking out the side that inning, and it was the leadoff guy that was up. So he caught a balk. Next pitch, I go like this. I throw a fastball by him. You can see it. I think it's Dewar. Is that his name? Chris Dewar?
Chris Dewar,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, he got fired up for a balk that wasn't a balk. You can see my lips mouthing, ball doesn't fucking lie. Walking around the mound because I was so fired
You
up
were.
for that game.
And, both teams were that way. I mean,
Yeah.
it was what you look for in high school baseball. It was one of those that's and it was a day game, so all
Yeah.
the kids were there.
High energy,
It's
it was
like
a
a classic.
game. It was
It
a
was
game,
awesome.
especially Macomb versus Bushnell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a game you want to watch.
And I thought you handled that really well. I knew you were upset, rightfully so. The Macomb coach didn't even really understand all this, and I was just like, this is ridiculous
Yeah.
on how this is going. It was handled incomplete by the umpire, which sucks. But I've worked in with the guy, and he does a fairly decent job. But it's when you get stuck with the partner that he had, that hurts because that guy was not good at all.
No.
But
We should have
So-
won that game too.
Yeah, you
because
should have.
they put up 10 runs. Guess how many were earned?
Oh shit.
Earned run. Earned run. Single. We had 6 runs. We win that game by 5.
Right. You should have run away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you knew we were going to ask you about baseball. Let's do a rapid fire here.
That's what I was
All
getting
right.
into.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll alternate.
No, you just take it. For a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
want me to take it?
You do rapid fire. I'll do a rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Okay.
So no, do all your.
Oh, do all of mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite animal?
I like bears.
Bears.
Barbecue or ranch?
Barbecue.
Okay. Food that you can't stand?
Sushi.
Ooh.
Fair. All right. Favorite food?
Steaks.
Okay. Time of the year?
Favorite time of the year?
Yep.
That like summer into fall. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not
Like
summer,
that
not fall,
August,
but like
September-ish?
yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where it's warm in the day but cold at night.
I like that. That's solid. That's what I got. Go
All
ahead.
right. Sunflower seeds or bubble gum.
Sunflower seeds.
Oh, okay.
Solid.
Nice. What flavor of sunflower seeds?
Cracked pepper.
Oh, okay. So that's really all I have. I really want to get into another thing now that drives me fucking nuts. The sliding mitt. Explain this shit to me.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
Well, me personally, I wear one because I slid in to second, stealing a base. Kid jumped up,
Right,
landed on
yeah.
my hand. So that's why I wear one.
Which makes legit sense. People that slide feet first,
Yeah.
do not need
no.
one.
No, and especially at like 12U.
I know
Like,
your brother wears
yeah,
one.
I know.
That's
I know.
me off.
I don't. The sliding mitt in 12U,
10U,
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 10U, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That, yeah.
like dude, guys, I played hundreds of games in my
Yeah.
career.
So, yeah.
So obviously it's for diving, right?
Right.
So one of the kids that has on our team put on the wrong hand. Like, she's like, well, when I dive back to first, I'm like, but you went on your left hand, needs to be on your right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, well, when I dive head first into base, I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that at your age. Like,
No,
I've never taught you to
honestly.
do that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, we teach all our kids feet first.
Like,
It-
and I get it. You always had swag. Like, that was, I mean, you always had some swag.
Right.
Why is this such a thing now? Why do we have to have all this swag?
Yeah. Well, okay,
Look
so
and play good. I get it.
that's
but-
my thing. Like baseball, like later I'll get into more of the mental side of like 'cause that's when I really matured as a baseball player.
Right.
I'll get into more of that later. But when I go out there, when I got my wrist tape on, when I got like eye black, when I got my pockets full, it's like okay, it's fucking game time. Like
Right.
Okay.
That makes
I'm
sense.
not gonna be bested right now. It's like when you go to work, like you put on your work uniform or whatever.
Right.
It's like all right, it's time to go.
Time to
Like,
go. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
like work and baseball are two different
It's a
things,
job.
but
It's
like,
a job right now. You know.
And
Yeah.
so it's like when I get in my uniform and everything, and I get the cleats on, and I hear the music, like I know it's time. Like
Yeah.
this is my thing. But if I go out there and I'm just kind of going out there to go out there, I mean I'm still gonna play obviously, but I'm just not gonna have that swag like you
Right.
said, like that confidence because I'm a big look good, play good kind
Right.
of guy because
Yep.
Yeah.
you feel good. You know what I mean? You get the pictures after the game and you're like fuck yeah, like, that's sweet.
Right.
So I think it's just a big confidence
Somebody
thing.
takes a picture of you and like,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
Like,
Right?
you know, no, I get it. I really do. It's just frustrating. Like,
Well, it's like as a kid when you were playing the show. Like, how long did you spend making your player? Because you had to
Right.
have the elbow pad.
Right.
You had to have the tape.
Right.
You had to have, like...
Yes.
Right. As
So-
for me at least, like when you're high school, it makes a difference. Like 12U. I mean, wrist tape is not cheap.
no,
Right.
Like I don't think you need to go
No.
through a lot of that when you're 12 years old.
Well, and when you don't, and she wasn't wearing a sliding mitt, but when you don't practice that diving head first, and then it happens at the 10U, 12U age, like you were up in the game the other night when that girl
Yeah.
dove and
Yeah.
kind of, she ended up chipping her teeth.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And you could tell it's something she had never rehearsed. She
Right.
didn't know what to do, and she just fucking went for
Right.
it.
Uh-huh.
And good for her, but the form,
Yeah.
it wasn't there.
right.
So
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you got to teach all that small fundamental stuff now.
Right.
So they've already been taught a little bit of it. But the whole, like, to me, my kid got batting gloves that go wrap around twice now.
Mm-hmm. The
Like,
long
I
cuff
think
ones.
why?
Yeah.
strengthen my wrist stuff. I'm like, dude, no, it doesn't. Like, your wrist muscle is the same strength as it was 3 seconds before you put that. It didn't get anything, But like you said, it's the mental part of all this stuff now. Now these kids, and I've heard my kids say, "Well, Dalton wore one." I'm like, no, yeah, where's that kid?
Yeah.
So Dalton's also really good, and it's really hard to get where he is,
Well, and you said earlier, which I liked, you said baseball's 100% mental, right? And there's a lot of times in these games that the smallest thing can change a game completely.
Oh yeah.
So if you're standing on base and you're doing this with each arm, like, what are you missing?
Right.
You know, what's going on in the rest of the game right there?
Yeah.
Well, and that's because college, you have pitch clock. And
Right,
so my coach, like, if you walked or you got a hit, you're rounding first, like, you're taking your elbow guard off, taking your leg guard off, and you're looking at him at third base, like, while you're doing everything. It's not, all right, here, let me put this on. All right, because by that time, it's, like, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Now you're like, shit, I missed. Like, you got to,
Right.
you're here, there's never a time you're not focused on
Well,
something.
100%, yeah. Which is what we should start teaching down at 10U,
Right.
Get on base, look at the coach, focus up, and there's so many kids that are like,
Yeah.
Like, what do?
Yeah. And like baseball, like I said, it's one of those games where, and softball, like little things equal big outcomes.
100%.
Like it's not about hitting home runs. It's not about hitting gap side doubles. It's about, all right, can I get a bunt down? Can I get that guy over?
Right.
Can I execute a rundown? Can I throw this guy out? Like
Right.
it's the big stuff that people forget about, and especially young ages. So like getting into that mental stuff, like I was talking about, where I really matured the most, we had a mental strength coach at JJC. And so like I'm telling my 14U kids, if there's a runner on second, they ground out to the right side, but he gets to third, that's a job. Like that is a job. And I tell them, like, remember, you're hitters. You have to win one pitch. Pitcher has to win 3. Like,
Right.
all you have to do is you have to win a pitch. He has to win 3. And so I tell him, like, one pitch at a time. All right, swing and miss. Okay, guess what? You still have to win 1.
Right.
He's got to win 2 more.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
I
like
like that. I
it's
like
like
that a lot.
the little like mental things, and like looking at the game completely different right now, because you hear coaches like 14U travel ball coaches, all right, bunts, third base, stay home. Pitcher, you got third baseline. Well, pitcher is a big guy. All right, give me a bunt right here. Give me a bunt on the third baseline. He's not going to get it. You're going to be on first. All right, well, they're both going to crash in. All right, show early. They come running in, pull back, slash.
But
Like little things that I've picked up just watching like baseball is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it helps so much. I'm a completely different player
But
than I was 2 years ago.
Do you think umpiring games help change your game a little bit?
I think so. I think playing baseball has helped me umpire. Like that sounds obvious, but knowing what is going to happen in a certain situation has helped me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, there's a line shot in the outfield. You got runners on first and second. That play is not going to be at home.
That's gonna be a third.
That play's going to be a third.
Right. Yep.
And like same thing, if there's a runner on second, he hits a gap shot. It's like, okay, that play's going to be at second.
Right.
So like that kind of stuff has helped me just know where to be in certain positions.
Yeah, I felt I started umpiring bases my sophomore year in high school, and I felt like it helped me pick up better learning tendencies and situations. I was never the player you were. I mean, that just got to be said, but so it helped me learn a lot, because I was like, oh man, like this makes more sense now, and why we do certain things, you know.
Right.
So obviously we had the same high school coach, and that's all there can be said about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I didn't know if that helped you learn anything, or if you just were naturally had a higher IQ than
like
me.
I said, like, I think just watching the game, like playing the game, has helped me realize like what I'm looking for.
What you're looking for, yeah.
And a lot of times, like I can pick up if a coach isn't doing something. Like if a coach is just standing there, then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, like check me out over here." He gives something. I'm like, "Okay, something's happening." Like coaches are dumb like that. Some coaches don't realize that they're doing that.
Right.
But if they're just standing there, then all of a sudden it's like, actually, you know what? Like it's like, okay, expect something. In coaching, I do that. Like I'm like, hey, see that? Like he's gonna do something. And even there's coaches giving signs in the dugout for pitches, where it's like it's a curveball. Okay, I'm like, okay, pick that up. Then it goes boom, 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 and it's a curveball again. Okay, well these signs changed, but the first one didn't, so it's a curveball.
Right.
Like it's picking up on little
little stuff.
stuff like that.
You know, Houston got
huge difference.
trouble for picking up signs. You better be careful.
Banging on the trash.
But yeah, like
No,
it helps.
I get that. So it's funny you mentioned the coaching. And I realized I find myself doing all the time at third base. I'm focused on the batter, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And so the other night, the coach was like, hey, like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I just totally screwed my runner.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, kids still have to make the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, that's what my college coach. You know Grant Braun. My college coach was his uncle.
oh, really?
Yeah. So that's kind of a small world, but
That's awesome.
he would. That's where I picked up on the coach was like, hey, like third base, stay home. He would literally say, give me a bunt right here. Like I want it, put it right here, right in front of me, and he would because like as an opposing player, that's a mind fuck.
Right.
Like you hear a coach be like, hey, you're stealing, or it's like hey, I want a bunt right here. Now you're like, oh shit, like I got.
Right.
Now I'm thinking about it. Now I gotta make a play. Yeah,
exactly.
It is a mind fuck.
And that kind of stemmed from when I was in high school and Tony Akers was like, he'd yell the play out of their coach's ass.
Yeah.
You know, and like what the hell? He's like, they have to stop him. Like, but they know what's coming.
They know what's coming.
He's like, well, give it to him.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
oh yeah.
So I like the fact that obviously at college you're doing it too. Like, it's a mind game.
It is.
Like,
It
it's all
is.
baseball, mental.
It's chess. I mean,
You know,
it is a
like,
giant game of chess.
I'm not trying to sit here and play mind games to a 12-year-old, but my main thing is I want to get out of double play debt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Move. So.
Well, that's what my 14U team. I coach first base. The other day, our third base coach was gone, so I was coaching third base, and so I'm like, okay, I'm calling the shots here. Like, I'm gonna do some crazy shit. I just want to see what happens, and I'm trying to outthink that other coach,
Right.
and I'm trying to make him overthink everything.
Right.
And so I'm constantly. I have a loud voice. You hear me in basketball and baseball.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm just loud,
Yeah.
and so I'm always talking. Like, hey, shorts there, shorts creeping. Get some. Like, I am loud,
Right.
and I add in like verbal cues. So if I wanted somebody to get on or lay down a bunt, so if the third base was playing back, rather than getting his attention, be like, hey, like look at me. I would yell, get on base here. Like, come on, get on base. That's a verbal cue for a bunt. And then I have put in this play where if it's first and second, a lot of times that runner on first. If we're on defense, that runner on first is getting a huge lead because he's no clue. Like he's just there's nobody holding him.
Yeah.
So I'm yelling, all right, infield, get big, get it out, get big, get it out. Well, that's when pitcher comes set. Miles, first baseman, takes off behind the runner. Catcher drops his glove. It's a back pick to first, and then he's out. Like that, just being loud and consistent, it helps.
No, it does.
lot.
It does. I feel like I'm that way. Maybe not as to the extent of you, but just trying to be loud. That way, I get my kids know what to do.
Yeah.
But it's all mental. I mean,
it is all mental.
Just trying to, and I would say outsmart a coach at what I'm doing. We're still in 12U. We've only had one game that's really mattered that much.
Pee-wee.
What?
Pee-wee. You're out there trying to outsmart the other coach.
Yeah. My big thing, like I mentioned, I'm not. I mean, home runs help.
Oh yeah, but
I am a small ball coach.
Yeah.
Like I love creating chaos. All right, I get a runner on first. I'm gonna bunt him over. All right, now I got a runner on second. I'm gonna show bunt when the pitcher comes set just to see what the defense is doing. If that third baseman comes crashes, he's taking it next pitch. All right, we're going fake bunt steal. We're gonna show he's gonna crash. He's stealing. Now it's a free bag. All right, now I want a ground ball over there to score me this run. Like it's little
stuff,
little boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, oh shit, we have 3 runs on the board.
Right.
Like it's crazy, really, when you put all that together.
Even up to varsity, like these kids have to make plays.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every once in a while, you get a team that you guys had that are going to make their plays.
Mm-hmm.
Around here, in the varsity level, 9 out of 10 teams aren't making their plays.
Right.
No.
So just put the ball in play and do the right thing, and you're gonna probably win.
Yeah.
It's just simple baseball. But like the wanting to hit all these home runs has changed everything.
Oh, 100%.
Like I started every game my junior year and senior year, and let off probably 9 or 10 as a sophomore. So what's that? 60, 70 games over my high school career. I hit 1 home run.
Yep.
Like 2 maybe, I don't remember, but and both of them, one of them was windy and shit, blowing like 40 miles out. So first pitch of the game, Farmington, we went out there the game, we threw the ball up at the foul line, and it landed at second base.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
we just threw it up in the air. Like,
Yeah.
that ball was going. It was
Right.
I mean, there were like 16 home runs that game between both
Good
teams. It
lord.
was stupid.
Wow.
Like, I put left field up down at the fence.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, and then the other one was just a nice little made good contact down at United and did
Yep.
the ball. You know.
That's what like putting the ball in play.
Yes. Like.
That's what I pride myself on. Like,
Like-
I'm not a home run guy. I'll hit a double. I'll hit doubles here and there. But in my 3 years of varsity baseball, I struck out 8 times.
Right.
And then in college, I had over 200 at bats this last year, and I struck out 13 times. And my batting average with balls in play was 320. Like, you put the ball in play, and good things will happen.
But
Yeah.
And that's why I try and preach to all the boys I coach.
absolutely.
Like,
Yep.
have a 2-strike approach.
But
Like, you don't need a gap shot with 2 strikes. You need something in play.
something in play. Yep.
Because Barry Bonds talked about it. Like, if he puts a ball in play, he wins. Because that pitcher's job is to get you out.
Right.
But as soon as you put those other 8 guys in the equation that are out in the field, you're done for. You have one guy to beat. It's the pitcher.
Right.
Once you put a ball in play, you beat him. You can't control it after it's in play.
Exactly.
Right.
Next thing, have you seen the clip of the fan throwing a baseball in?
Oh yeah, in the middle of a play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bases loaded play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
an important play.
So-
And it was a close game.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, and we'll show that on the video here. Kyle edited it and put it in. But what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's. I mean, obviously it's stupid,
But
but like, what do you
What do you do?
What do
about
you
this?
What do you do? Like,
Yeah.
what do you
I've
gonna
heard
do?
so many people, oh, they should have awarded they should have made all the running go back and be done. I'm like, okay, now you penalize one team.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's nothing. The ball is still live.
Yeah.
Like,
Like-
I don't know what they want to do.
And then, so I'm sitting here thinking to myself as an umpire, what would I do in this situation? I'm like, nothing. The answer is nothing.
The answer is nothing.
Like,
Right.
Because as soon as you call that play dead, it's like, why? Why is it dead?
Right.
It's just like something
you know,
flew on the field.
it's not interference because it didn't interfere with anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It landed kind of in between
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, if it would have hit the catcher or something, I'd probably call it dead.
Yeah.
You know, but
And the thing was, it didn't change the play.
No,
like,
no,
the
no,
throw
they weren't
from
getting
the
that play
outfielder,
away,
it
no.
was off. He wasn't
Yeah.
making that play
no,
at home
no,
plate.
no, there was
No.
no
You
chance.
know,
But,
but
like, so we put it on a TikTok, and a guy gets on there and says, "I think you're going to see more of the stuff with the gambling now."
yeah,
I'm like, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not.
Like, because, okay, now you're trying to sway the odds and beat Vegas, and that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
and is it worth it? Like with the cameras and everything that you have nowadays, you're getting caught. Like,
Oh,
they
100%.
know who threw that
They
ball.
know who threw that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you still lose your fucking bet, well, congratulations, you just got fined and banned.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck did you come
Yeah.
out ahead?
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, you know. Okay, so here's my thoughts. So, like, let's say it's FanDuel.
Okay.
You know, so you won the bet, but FanDuel does an investigation and sees that it was you that threw the ball out there.
You tampered. You
Yeah.
know?
You
Yeah.
tampered
Yeah.
with it.
So
Now you lost the
you're
bet
eligible.
anyway.
Yeah.
And now you're probably getting fined, you're getting jail time, all this other shit.
You just ruined it.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
you've ruined your
so,
life.
You know,
Right.
hey. And this guy's probably like, oh, yeah, look, everybody's talking about me. I did something right. Not for the right reason, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, you're a piece of shit. Like,
And I hate it. Like, there's been so many instances, and again, this didn't really interfere with the play. It didn't change things, even in a close game. But I've never thought going to any sporting event that like I need to be part of this game. I need to
Right.
interfere with
Yeah.
this game.
Right.
I need to do something. But like, you've got the guy throwing the ball in the field. Streakers will always be a thing. There was
Yeah.
another one the other day. Last year in the playoffs, you know, you had the fan that kind of grabbed Mookie's glove and everything. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
right.
You
Yeah.
know, I just don't understand. I don't understand any reasoning behind this. And at any level, I think you just look stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, the whole. I'm just seeing. I'm like, I didn't watch it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that didn't
Yeah.
happen.
That,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, that didn't happen.
Well, the first time I saw it, I thought it was edited. I thought it was fake.
Oh, dude, me
Right.
too.
And then everybody was like looking at it and they
Yeah.
like, whoa, what is this? I'm like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
that actually
That's
happened.
why I think that's why I had to watch it so many because it's like everybody just stopped.
yeah.
Like everybody, and it's like,
Yeah. What do we do? Like, what's going on?
you know,
And that's where I thought maybe it affected something, right? Because it's a 5-4 game at the end of the game.
Right.
So it is a close game. But let's say that ball never enters the field, right? Catcher gets pulled to first baseline. Probably the third base runner wasn't advancing, but at the point that everybody stopped and they're looking at that ball in the field, it's essentially dead anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing
Yeah.
anything,
No.
you know. So I don't know. It's dumb. I hate to see it. I don't know. Not much you can say about it. But most watched video to date on our TikTok channel.
It is.
Almost
Really?
12,000 views right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's the one that went viral for us. I don't understand
Go
it.
figure.
You know, like, it's, honestly, we took our faces out of some of these videos and they're spiking up.
Oh, maybe that's the secret.
So, no, a lot of good baseball talk today. Appreciate you coming on. That was fun.
Thanks for having me.
For sure.
Kind of learned how you kind of think a little bit. So, which I feel like I kind of already knew it, but I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And anytime you get to talk baseball, talk sports, it's always a good night. So,
Definitely.
but you committed to Illinois College, right?
I did.
So
I did.
2 years of baseball left, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
What position you play down there?
Utility, wherever they need
Wherever
me.
they need you. So
Yep.
it's what you kind of did at JC too,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, let's talk about your college experience. We didn't hit on that too much. What was your favorite thing about it?
The friendships,
Really?
like
Just
those. So last year we had a good team, but it was kind of like a lot of egos and a lot of like I'm way too good for this team. Like, and the record showed we weren't that good last year. Well, this year we had a group of guys who looked forward to being around each other.
Right.
Like, we're best friends. There was no cliques. We were just one
big
team,
group, yeah.
and it showed. We were really good. We lost a heartbreaker in the regional championship on a walk-off grand slam, but like that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was telling them goodbye in the locker room after the game. Like, the friendships that I made there were ridiculous.
Right. And you'll probably keep those forever.
Well,
I know
forever.
a lot of people that are closer with their guys I went to college with
Yeah.
versus high school.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that way. And obviously you're getting the same thing. Jacksonville has been called J Vegas for a reason,
Yeah.
so be careful down there.
Oh yeah.
Had a lot of friends go to school there. I've been to several parties down there myself, so
I heard it's a pretty good time down there.
it's good. I mean, they have all the partying, they have all the good stuff, but they still have good, programs, and they expect people to show up and compete every day. So you'll fit in good down there. But are they? They had a good program for baseball.
Yeah.
The ranked or anything.
They were first in their conference for like majority of the season, and then towards the end, I think they started to get a little cold. But
Gotcha.
hopefully, we'll stay hot the
Yeah,
whole season.
yeah.
But
So-
it's crazy. Like, they played 40 games in a season, and JUCO plays 60. So that'll be a difference.
That 60 games. Does that put a wear and tear on your arm at all?
My whole body.
I can imagine that.
Like, oh my gosh. The regional championship game, we ended up playing 12 innings, going extras.
Oh.
Popped my groin in the 4th inning.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm playing on one leg the entire game. And, like, but there was no way in hell I was coming out of that game.
Right.
Like, I wasn't going to tell him. I mean, I was pretty much walking stiff-legged with my left leg, but, like, there was no way I was coming out.
Yeah.
And waking up in the morning, like, hearing that alarm go off, having to go to class, you roll out of bed, everything hurts. Like, it was a grind.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would do it again in a
So
heartbeat.
you said you played 60 games in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So that's basically a game every
Basically.
a day and a half.
Yeah, if you averaged it out, yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot of baseball.
It's a
Nice.
lot of baseball.
So 60 games. How many pitchers you guys have?
A lot, like 25.
No, I was gonna say you have to.
Yeah, like 25, 27, something around there.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yep.
Wow.
It was, and that last game, because your playoff roster can only have like 30 guys on it, and so a lot of guys that we cut were pitchers, and so that last game, I mean, we threw everybody,
Yeah.
like everybody, and it didn't matter because the final we put up 14 runs, didn't have an error, and lost.
Wow.
It was-
I mean,
It was one of those games that whoever had the last at bat was gonna win, and they had the last at bat.
Right.
fuck.
But yeah, it didn't matter who we threw out there; they were gonna hit.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys put up 14 runs too. So
Yeah.
Right, you did
I mean
your
that's
fair
just good
share.
baseball all around
Yeah.
out there. That's what you live for.
Yeah, we scored every. Oh yeah, we scored every inning too.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like we would score
Oh,
3, then no, and then 4. No, it was 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2. Like,
That's a
I
rough
don't
one.
know how we lost.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
but that's the whole thing in the competition and playing
Yeah.
the sport. That's why you do it.
It was the most electric game I've ever been a part of, and we lost.
Wow.
And the day before that, we played them in a tight game, 6-7, and we won 7-6, and it was like that too, back and forth the entire game.
Really.
Wow.
So we played 2 days of like balls to the wall baseball with
Awesome.
the same team. So it was awesome. Good time for sure.
Oh yeah, good deal. Well, Take us away.
All right. Well, we got new episodes every Wednesday. Full video episode available on YouTube and Facebook. You can follow us on TikTok also. Everybody else is. Everywhere you podcast. If you don't want to see our faces, fuck you. We're available audio as well. Episode will drop Wednesday.
Yep. So follow us on socials, which we already said. So yeah, no, that's all I got.
All right. Until next time.
It's garage time.